Good morning, delegates, staff, and fellow secretariat members. My name is Enoch Wong, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the Director General for this year's iteration of Oakridge MUN. I first began my own journey into MUN in grade 8, when I didn't even know what a committee session was, when I didn't know how to make a speech, and I didn't even know what the three letters MUN stood for. Yet here I am, 4 years down the road, as a 12th grader, ready to graduate, running a conference alongside of my closest friends. I am only able to stand up here today because at my first conference, I had immense support from my secretariat members and my staff members. It is the same amount of support and encouragement that I wish to provide for you, delegates, today. Whether you are new to MUN or perhaps a seasoned debater ready to graduate just like I am, I hope you all have something to take away this weekend. And I hope you all find the courage to raise your placards, or as in today's case, raise your Zoom hands, and learn to speak. And as Oakridge MUN's motto follows, enter with curiosity, exit with change. Before we begin, I would like to invite our guest speaker of the day, Mackenzie Kerr. Mackenzie is a sustainability activist, and at 22, she ran as the youngest federal election candidate in the 2019 election. We hope all delegates today can learn a little bit from her speech and feel inspired to talk in the upcoming weekend. Take it away, Mackenzie.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Oakridge Model United Nations Conference. I am extremely humbled and appreciative to be your guest speaker today for the opening ceremonies. My name is Mackenzie Kerr. And before we begin, I want to acknowledge that I reside on the unceded traditional territory of the Lheidli T'enneh in Prince George. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, hopefully inspire you, and try to talk a little bit about my experience with youth involvement and environmental activism. So I'm taking this video on my selfie stick, which I had to dig out of a box. I don't use it very often, although I do make a lot of videos, and that's going to be part of my story today that I share with you. So I am hoping that I don't run into anyone, because even though I make a lot of videos, I still get very easily embarrassed if people see me making videos in public. So I found kind of a treed area, and I'm hoping that if I walk slowly, it won't shake too much. So today I am going to share with you the story of how I got involved in politics. I was asked to, let's back up a little bit. Also, I'm not doing this in multiple takes because it's like a 10-minute video, so you're gonna get all the little pieces in between, which is authentic and I think is really, really important if we're talking about youth engagement in environmental issues and sharing our stories. I think that we need to be as authentic as possible because we've seen a lot of people do it in inauthentic ways, and it doesn't always work out. So first of all, I'm 24. I was in a program called 4-H for a really long time, and I gained a lot of similar skills to the skills that you are gaining at Model United Nations conferences. A lot of leadership, public speaking, decision-making skills, all of that kind of stuff, presentations. I did a lot of budgeting and kind of scrapbooking or tracking my year of activities because I raised animals. That's not all 4-H is about, but that's what I did a lot of. I also rode horses and showed dogs in dog shows. And so with that, I kind of learned all the skills that came with presenting, bringing something from beginning to end. I learned about local agriculture, and that's something that's really important to me. So that was kind of my childhood, was a lot of engagement with the 4-H program. I was asked to be a provincial ambassador. I applied to be a provincial ambassador when I was younger. I believe I was 14, and I got accepted. So I got to represent my area in Prince George and go down to Vancouver. And I was just checking for people. Go down to Vancouver and represent my area on a provincial stage, bringing forward their ideas and the youth voice to that kind of position at the table. Got to sit on the board of directors, learn all about governance and how that works. So that was a really great experience. And I was also asked to be a federal ambassador. So same thing, but bringing my regional issues and provincial issues to the stage in Ottawa, and being a part of this global conference that we had. It was really, really incredible. I got to meet some pretty awesome, inspiring politicians when I was there, which kind of started my interest in politics. But ultimately, I was interested in environmentalism, local agriculture, and my degrees in forestry. So I went to school in 2015. I graduated high school and I went straight to college to do a forestry tech program to become a forest tech. That took me 2 years, and it was full-time. And that was a really good experience, lots of work out in the bush. So that was really great experience. And then I went to the university and tried to finish my degree in 2 years because it was a transfer program. That did not happen. It actually took me 4 more years to finish my degree at university because I ran for office twice while I was there. So we'll get to that. So I finished my diploma at the college. I go to university and I am looking for opportunities to get involved with environmentalism, politics. I'm studying forestry, but I'm more so interested in how I can create change in my community with environmentalism. Some of my summer jobs included working at the pulp mill, which gave me a really great perspective. My family works in the forest industry. My degree's in forestry, so I kind of have that background, but I also have one foot in the door on the environmental side. And that will come back as a huge benefit later when I decide to run for office in my area. So I work at the pulp mill for 3 summers in a row, and I gained lots of valuable experience, even though I wasn't, working in the bush doing forestry. Gained lots of experience. And I was looking for ways to create change. So I tried to start a club at UMBC, and I knew that Green Party campus clubs existed around the country. So I contacted the Green Party, not thinking much of it. And I started a campus club there with the help of the Green Party of Canada. They helped me sort it out and figure out how to start it, and it went really, really well. We hosted a beeswax wrap making workshop, say that 10 times fast, and it went super well. We sold tickets, we made a profit, it was amazing. We could use that money for other things. We had local politicians come in to speak to the people in our club, and got to kind of ask them the questions that we were wondering. How do you get involved? How do you create change? How do I approach city council to bring up this issue that's really important to me? And we learned a lot, and it went so well that the Green Party of Canada asked me to run for office. And they said, "Mackenzie, we've seen that your club's done really well." And I said, "No, I don't know enough about politics. I'm not in poli-sci. I don't feel like I have the background to be able to do that." And they asked me 6 more times before I said yes. And statistically, women have to be asked multiple times before they say yes to running for office, because there's a lot more things that they have to think about. And I was trying to finish my degree, so I ended up saying yes. It took them a lot of asking. I decided, you know what? I think this is a really great opportunity, and I think it'll be fine if I delay my degree by a semester. Little did I know there would be a pandemic, and it would actually be pushed and pushed and pushed, and that there would be an election the year after, a snap election provincially that I wasn't prepared for either. So I said yes. I had a great experience running for office, and I learned a lot. And the story of when I was a small girl growing up, I saw a lot of women in powerful positions around me, and that's kind of what inspired me to be able to take the leap. I felt very supported. I had a lot of people around me that said that they would support me if I did this, and they did. And that was a huge reason, was that those people were in my circle trying to influence me and make sure that they would see me succeed. And not everyone has that network, has that circle, and I had a lot of privileges to be able to do that at such a young age. Having the privilege of being able to put off my degree, because finishing that and getting to work really, really quick wasn't a huge priority for me financially, because I had that privilege. So there's a lot of things to think about when you're thinking about getting involved. And so I ran for office 2019. We did super well. We increased the vote from 3% the election before to 9.16, I believe it was, just shy of 10%. And we had an incredible time doing it. We had a long campaign because we had time. So we door knocked, we had an office, we had lots of volunteers. And I loved that length of election because the year after that, I was asked to run in the provincial snap election. I was back in class, September 2020, and they needed someone quick because when it's a snap election, you have to get your signatures form filled out in a few days, right? I hear a voice. Hold on, let me move over here. So I said yes, and I'll make sure that he's not in it if he walks by. And I had a really amazing opportunity to do that again 11 months later in 2020. And it was much faster. We didn't have as much time to, go door knocking and put the effort in that we needed to, but we still had a great time doing it and did the best that we could. We were also in the midst of a pandemic, and we had to be really careful knocking doors and, having people in our office and having, an election night party, things like that. And then in 2021, so I finished my degree in the spring. I go back to school. I did go to school while I ran in that 2020 election, which was tough, but I got exemptions for some classes and, delayed some tests, things like that. And it was a short election, so it worked, but it was tough because I had a strong supportive team. That's what made that possible. Can you hear the birds? I hope this is nice for you rather than just seeing me like sitting in my living room with a plant behind my head. You also get to see me all worried about people walking by, which is kind of funny. So you're welcome. And then I finished my degree in the spring, and I was figuring out what I wanted to do. I had a couple jobs that I had at the time doing social media for Research Forest and kind of like diving into a little bit of the forestry stuff that I had gone to school for, but really enjoyed doing social media and trying to reach people and educate them and reach the public. So that's really what I'm passionate about, is that kind of engagement and education and teaching people. So then I had a job opportunity come to me for the 2021 snap election federally this year, and I was offered the position to go to Victoria and work on the campaign instead of being the candidate in Prince George. I wasn't ready to be candidate 3 years in a row. They were all 11 months, right after each other, and I didn't want to burn out, because the biggest thing with youth activism and environmentalism and politics and all of those things combined is burnout. Because there's a core group of people that are extremely passionate about a really important issue, and they're trying to grow how many people are involved, but right now, trying to get activism groups together in COVID, everyone's worried about just surviving right now, just trying to finish school, just trying to stay healthy, and a lot of people don't have time for extra things that are activism focused. So kudos to all of you for being involved in Model UN, because it's tough right now to feel inspired to get out there and kind of do extra things. So you're going to go a long ways because of this program, and I hope that you have an amazing time at the conference over the next couple days. So I'll wrap up quickly here. I went to Victoria for 5 weeks. I had a billet. It was paid, which was amazing, because usually I've been doing all this political work for free as a candidate. And if you want to ask me any questions about how that all works, feel free to message me on social media at any time. I love answering people's questions to help hopefully inspire them to do the same thing that I did. So had an amazing time in Victoria. Came back to Prince George to hopefully bring all those skills I learned up here. And hopefully we'll do it again in the future and inspire others to do the same thing and share those skills with others, because we have a lot of work to do ahead of us, and whether that's environmentalism, whether that is sustainable forestry that I'm interested in, anything towards the work that we need to do for the future, there's a lot of work to do. So we have to make sure that we're not burning out. We have a strong team around us. We're bringing in as many people as we can into our cause, so that we can If I can't run as a candidate one time, I can pass it off to my friend, and we can have a little buddy system, and we make sure that they know that they're supported, and everyone knows that they're supported in their community. And that is how you bring people into an important cause, is you show them that there's a community that they can be a part of, and you show them, that the work that they're doing is incredibly important and that they're needed, and you make it accessible. And I think reaching young people and inspiring them to get involved with things like that I'm involved with, I think it really takes being accessible, reachable, authentic, as we were talking about before. If I'm always dressed in in a dress jacket and suit pants, I'm not going to be as accessible and approachable to young people who want to get involved or have questions for me, as me dressing like this and just being myself, right? And then the point is, you have to do it because it's who you are, not because you're trying to target a specific audience, because people can see through that. Young people can see through it. So it's definitely time that we change the makeup of the people who are making decisions, and we're represented, and policies reflect what we want for our future. So I want to thank you again. I hope that this was inspiring. If you have any questions at all about my experience, or how you can get involved, or you have some ideas and you don't know how to bring them to life in your community, or you want to make TikToks about environmental issues or something that you're passionate about, I love doing that. I'm starting to do that as like a business as well. And so I encourage everyone to go after their goals. No doubt all of you that are at this conference are going to do amazing things. I hope that some of you put your names on the ballot and become candidates one day, because we need more young people involved in politics to create positive change in our communities. You can do it in other ways as well, but that's the way that I took. And you're in it for the long game, so make sure that you don't burn out and you take care of yourself. So thank you so much for asking me to be your guest speaker for this conference. I was really humbled and really appreciative of the opportunity. And the guest speaker last year, Haley May, I know her as well. She was amazing, and she's doing incredible work as well. So really honored to be here today. I hope that all of you have an incredible conference. You learn a ton, you have great conversations, you challenge yourself, because that's how we grow. And stay safe. We're still in the height of COVID, so I know that, it may be disappointing that this is on Zoom and not in person, but we all have to stay safe and make sure that the numbers are going down so that we can get back to getting out there and creating positive change and saving the world, because we have a lot of work to do. So thank you again, and have a good rest of your conference.
Good morning, staff, delegates, parents, and sponsor teachers. My name is Emily Moe, and I am the Undersecretary General of Committees for the third iteration of Oakridge Model United Nations. I'm here to go over our Zoom policies, rules, and more. First of all, please update your Zoom to the latest version so that you can have access to the latest features. Instructions to do that can be found in a delegate handbook, but please feel free to contact me or any secretariat with any questions. Next, please familiarize yourself with the functions of Zoom, as well as check that your microphone and webcam are working correctly. Cameras should be on at all times to stimulate the United Nations as accurately as possible, and in regards to Zoom etiquette, please mute yourselves when you're not speaking. Be on time to committee sessions and ceremonies unless notified your staff members beforehand, or should you want to pass a note to other delegates, just like in a regular Model United Nations conference, please instead privately message that delegate. Now we'll move on to the rules. At Oakridge Month, we enforce a zero-tolerance policy. Destructive, obnoxious, and rude behaviors will not be tolerated in the duration of this conference. This includes disrupting the flow of debate, which includes interrupting staff and delegates when they speak, sharing an official Oakridge Month meeting link with non-conference participants, possessing or using alcoholic drinks, illegal drugs, tobacco products, and vaping devices, bullying other delegates, which includes emotional, threatening, physical, and/or sexual harassment, using inappropriate and insensitive language that discriminates against other delegates' race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, nationality, and ethnicity, and promoting hateful ideologies and not following committee procedure. This includes posting inappropriate and insensitive content. If a delegate is found to violate any of these terms, the Secretariat team reserves the right to suspend or expel the delegate immediately out of the conference. Now we'll be going over the dress code. In order to accurately represent the actual UN, all delegates must wear Western business attire. Ladies can wear a dress, suit, skirt, or blouse, and for men, this means a suit or jacket with dress pants and a dress shirt. Both men and women have the option to go tieless, but leaving only the top button of your dress shirt undone. Jeans are also not allowed for both men and women. If a delegate is found inappropriately dressed by a staff member, the delegate member would be asked to leave the session and change into appropriate Western business attire before re-entering the committee session. Finally, regarding the schedule of the conference, we will be having 6 committee sessions with breaks in between. This can be found on www.oakridge.com/conference, where there are details regarding each step of the conference. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact any member of the Secretariat or refer to the delegate handbook found at oakridgemon.com/resources. It also includes details about RRP and all the logistics covered in my speech today. So we highly encourage you to take a look. With that said, I'll be handing it over to our wonderful Secretary General, William Wang.
Thank you, Emily. Our staff and secretary have poured countless hours and relentless hard work into this conference, and we do hope that you will enjoy the fruit of our hard work. We promise to deliver on the best of our abilities and create an unforgettable experience and memorable experience here at Oakridge today. Before I open the conference, however, I would like to touch upon our fundamental pillars and values. First and foremost, we believe that, and we founded this conference and are currently maintaining its legacy because we believe one of the most pressing social issues today is climate change, and our first fundamental pillar of sustainability reflects that. Climate change is a pressing societal matter today only because of the fact that it doesn't matter about your location, it doesn't matter about your education, beliefs, ideology, culture. Climate change weaves through all of these different things, all of these different cultures and beliefs, and affects all of us in our world today. I actively encourage all of you to pursue climate change solutions to it and actively think about the environment in all of your committee sessions during today's conference. However, we believe that our second most fundamental pillar reflects upon the first and is deliberately crucial and is needed for the first to be reflected nicely. I genuinely believe that the best minds and solutions to the forefront of our second pillar is youth empowerment. All of you standing here today are actively pursuing and involving yourself in Model United Nations, a vast pool of unthinkable collective intelligence, ideas, ideologies, and beliefs. And we could not possibly describe that, and we want to provide you with a platform, Oakridge to provide those ideas and express your ideologies. We want to provide you with this platform to not only challenge deeply rooted beliefs, but also express new perspectives that may have never been seen before, which touches upon our last and third fundamental pillar here at Oakridge, global awareness. Different people and a ton of unique people live on our planet today. They have different lives, they live different lives, and because of that, their stories and their experiences vastly differ. Here at Oakridge we have ideologies from across the nation gathered today in a collective pool, and we believe that by providing you this platform and giving you this ability to provide, to speak up about your beliefs, we want you to represent who you truly are and push up there to do the best you can. Be the change you want to see in the world, and we actively encourage that. Now, without further ado, I would officially like to open this year's iteration of Oakridge I hereby declare Oakridge 3 officially open, and you may all head to your respective Zoom calls.